you had a video on Instagram that you want to get into the Instagram the Vice one.
Oh yeah. So you guys can go check that out if you ever want to. Some guy named Bill on Instagram. But in the video, Vice News gives me a call and they want to do a story on QAnon because I was at a reopen New Jersey rally about 2 or 3 months ago. I gave a little speech on stage, whatever, and I took a picture with some people who were there. They were very big supporters. They had a Q flag that they put up. I said, oh yeah, Q, and I posed in the picture, right? I take the picture because I'm like, look, we're all on the same page. We all support the president. This is all what it is. I didn't think anything of the Q flag when I put it up. So till this day, I'm getting emails like, hey, you want to tell us a little bit about your support for QAnon? We're doing this story about QAnon. We want to write about it. So I'm getting into this thing now where whenever the media contacts me, I'm recording what they're saying just to kind of make them look stupid because they don't know what they're talking about. So when you see the video on Instagram, Vice calls me. They don't know anything about me. They don't know anything about my campaign or my candidacy other than the fact that, oh, we know you won the Republican primary, but we know you also support Q. And I'm like, well, where do you see that I support Q? When did I ever say that I support Q or anything like that? And I kind of start questioning this lady to get to the bottom of what she's talking about. And she couldn't even answer the question. She didn't know what the hell she was talking about.
We saw a photo on Facebook.
Oh, so that's support.
But what I loved about this was that you just basically asked, do you know anything about my campaign?
Right.
And the answer was no.
Right.
They don't know what your policies are.
Nope.
They don't know. They probably, I'll tell you this. Having worked for many of these companies, I'm willing to bet that somebody walked up to her and said, here's a list of, conspiracy theorists. Call them and get a comment. Yeah. And so there was a point in this video, it's like 10 minutes long, where you're grilling this reporter from Vice. Full disclosure, I used to work for Vice. I actually was a founding member of Vice News.
When it was good.
And Vice News, it was Vice News that called you, right?
Vice News. They said they were doing something on Vice News tonight on HBO or something like that.
Yeah. So I love this video because you're like, tell me any one of my policies, basically. She can't do it. And that says so much.
Yeah.
Like you pointed out specifically, this is what the news does. Instead of trying to figure out what you're doing to better your community, which includes police reform, which includes, immigration, you got term limits and all that stuff. They just want the juicy BS.
That's it. Anything to make a sensational headline. Anything that's going to get people to click the article. Oh, look, Republican, he's crazy. He supports nut job stuff. Let's write about it. Let's click that. And I think that's a shame because they're overlooking a lot of the things that I actually want to do in my district, a lot of the things that I want to change, and not just New Jersey as a whole, but across the country. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can benefit from the things that I want to do, and they don't even want to talk about that. Even there's another video, I haven't uploaded it yet, and this was before the Vice call. This was with Washington Post, Jeff Bezos's organization. Yeah. Same thing. It's not as funny as the Vice one though, because the Vice one I was like, okay, I'm gonna have fun with them this time, because the first time they called me and I was like, the audacity, like you would ask me such a stupid question. Like I didn't say that to them, and I'm just like, I kind of grilled them in that way. The second time when Vice called me, I said, okay, let me have fun with them. This is gonna be hilarious. I want to see if they even know. I was like, let me be a little bit more tactical, and I think I'm going to do that moving forward every single time.
Yeah, call them out. It reminds me of Jordan Peterson. Yeah, he was at an event and someone pulled out the Keck flag.
Yeah,
the Keck
flag. The frog thing. Yeah,
and then all of a sudden he's being told he has to answer for this flag, and he's like, "What flag?" And they're like, "Somebody held up a flag and took a picture with you." He was like, "I take a picture with a ton of people."
Right.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with somebody because a lot of people, it's like I guess it's become a rumor because I don't take pictures with people. They were like, somebody asked me, "Is it true that you don't take pictures with fans?" And I was like, "I don't."
For reasons like this, and so I would understand that.
Well, it's because people try to set you up. People who are not your fans.
Do gotcha moments?
I was in Washington, and there was a guy sitting down, and he had a little mustache or whatever, and there was a riot going on or whatever, and I was talking to some leftist guy about something when this guy walks over and he goes, "Hey, you're Tim Pool, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Hey, I'm a big fan." I was like, "Hey, appreciate it." Shook his hand, and then he says he's a Nazi. And I'm sitting there surrounded by Antifa and this guy, and I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? Don't come up to me and bring that stuff to me. I was like, I'm not cool with what you're doing, with what you believe. And he was like, that's fine. And I was like, dude, so I'm surprised.
I would have kicked him in the mouth.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm a politician now. I can't do that.
Right. So when Jordan Peterson walks up and someone's like, "Can I get a picture with you?" and they pull out the flag, that was innocent.
Right.
That was someone, like in your instance, some guy was like, "Hey, let's get a photo, Billy," and they pull out a big Q flag. Now you got all these journalists that don't know anything about you. They see one photo on Facebook, and that's everything.
That's all they want to know about.
They want to get clicks, and they want a boogeyman.
Right.
And because Antifa has been going nuts for months, Q is their boogeyman.
Exactly. And and even when they say that, it's like, listen, from what I've seen and from what I've researched, there's definitely something going on. There's definitely a human trafficking, pedophilia type problem going on here, right? To the extent of what's going on with the whole Q thing, that I don't know about. I can't really attest to that. But there's definitely a lot of murky stuff going on with Jeffrey Epstein. There's definitely a lot of murky stuff going on with a lot of these high profile people, Prince Andrew and whatnot, who've gone to this island.
And this is the crazy thing, because you've got them trying to conflate what's going on with Epstein, which is like, don't we literally have this lady in jail right now? They're like shuffling her around, worried about her, and she's being charged with like trafficking and other things. Like, so yeah, and there's a picture of Bill Clinton in a blue dress. It's a lot.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, listen, regardless of what you believe, whether you support the Q thing or not, there's definitely something going down here that just doesn't add up.
And to put it simply, they're literally prosecuting somebody over it.
Right.
A guy, it's funny. Trump said, "I wish her well," and then the left goes insane.
He supports Maxwell. They took a picture back in like '99.
But then when he gets asked by that dude from HBO, he's like, "Her boyfriend died. He's in jail and he's dead. We don't know how it happened." So yeah, I do wish her well, and that's what I thought was going to happen when he said it. I thought it was kind of weird when Trump said, "I wish her well."
I think he did it to just like troll, man.
I think he didn't realize, but I think what he was saying was, I hope she doesn't die.
Essentially.
Like, I hope, because we're going to prosecute her, we need her to talk.
Right.
And I think they tried turning it into he supports her or whatever. I don't know anything about it, frankly. I wish her well. But yeah, so anyway, this is what happens with the media, and it's one of the reasons why I've been to a ton of events, and I'm like, I don't like doing events. They've threatened to burn down events. I put on an event last year. The Antifa threatened to burn it down.
Where?
Just out here. We're in South Jersey.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
They came from Central Jersey down here, and then told the press they wouldn't let me come to their neighborhood. And I'm like,
this is my neighborhood.
This is my neighborhood.
What are you talking about?
I booked it a few miles from my house.
Right.
You came down here from up north. They think they think they own it. Think that they can use violence. You're familiar with Daryl Davis?
Daryl Davis?
Yeah.
No, I have not met Daryl Davis.
He's the famous black blues musician who met a bunch of Klansmen and de-radicalized them.
Oh, yes.
He was our headline speaker.
Really?
They tried to shut the event down.
Why?
Because
they're just douchebags?
Because it's Antifa, man. That's what they do. So Daryl Davis tried talking to him because that's his thing.
Right.
He goes to the Klan. He's like, hey, I'm going to talk to a guy in the Klan. And then he ends up de-radicalizing 200 of these guys. He walked across the street to Antifa, and they called him a white supremacist.
Madness.
Yeah, dude.
Madness.
It's a crazy political world right now. But I think one of the big things that's fueling it absolutely is it's all fake news. Mm-hmm.
That's why we watch people like you.
Well, I guess I'm just a dude. Look, I jokingly say I just complain on the internet. Like,
but the thing is, and one of the, and it's the same thing I told you on Twitter. It's like one of the main reasons why I follow and why I really, really, really like your show. And you're one of the few people that I actually watch on social media is because despite you having you traditionally have a lot of liberal views, but you call out the nonsense on that side too. The same way you'll call out the nonsense on the other side. It's like, well, this is what news is supposed to be. A lot of people give their opinions today. Like on CNN, it's like Don Lemon for 40 minutes talking about why Trump is, Satan himself. And you're just calling it the way it is. The people on the internet that are doing the researches and looking into information and actually asking questions, getting people to be rational and think for themselves, I think that's the direction that the media is going to go into. And unless the mainstream media starts to change their formula, they're going to go the way to Dodo.
I kind of realized something. I think Trump is the internet's politician, and Biden is the traditional establishment politician.
I think that's actually a good point.
Because I noticed something. Trump did the biggest ad buy. Like the biggest ad buy ever on digital. It was like a 7-figure 1 month, buy. And he bought the most expensive ad possible, the YouTube banner. And it was this big news story in the New York Times. And Joe Biden didn't buy this. So they're doing the DNC digitally. It's on YouTube. And they didn't buy YouTube ad space during their own convention.
Madness.
That doesn't make sense, does it? Mm-hmm. Okay, listen, if you got a YouTube channel for your digital convention, don't you want people on YouTube to click it to go watch it?
Right.
But they didn't buy it. So Trump did. However, I saw that. I started thinking, I'm like, wow. So they're not trying to win. They're phoning it in. They're planning on losing, right? Joe Biden spent $220 million on TV ads, and that's when I realized what it is.
Nobody's watching TV like that anymore.
But you look, there are a lot of people who do watch TV, And if you get your news, if you're like one of these regular normie types who aren't paying attention, you get your news from memes and from your friends, word of mouth,
Right.
which trickles down from CNN, MSNBC, and to an extent Fox News, but not so much. If you're watching a show like this, you're going online and seeking out.
Right.
But there's an easier way to put it. Like if you go to youtube.com and you're searching for like immigration, you're not going to get only right wing or only left wing. It could be both.
Right.
You know, when Donald Trump says something like, you know, we're going to build a wall, you search for build a wall, you might find anti-wall and pro-wall, because the algorithm on YouTube only knows wall.
Right.
Unless you say like the wall is bad, then you only get that stuff. But on TV, if you turn on MSNBC, you're only getting orange man bad.
That's it.
So these people who are watching TV are in that world, and I think what, you know, I'm not saying I know this is a fact or anything. It's just an idea I have. But when I was reading this about the ad buys, and then I was reading about the Beltway bubble.
Beltway bubble.
Yeah, so the DC journalists only follow each other.
Okay.
So when one journalist writes, you know, Donald Trump is losing, their buddy sees it and then writes Donald Trump is losing. And then you get New York Times, Wall Street, you know, well, not Wall Street Journal, but like New York Times, Washington Post, Vox, BuzzFeed. Trump is losing. Why? Because they're all following each other. They're not hearing what you're saying. They're not hearing what I'm saying.
It's like an echo chamber.
Exactly. And that's probably why they didn't see Trump coming in 2016. So now you take that combined with the fact that, you know, Biden's buying TV and Trump's buying digital, and I think Trump is the candidate for the internet age. And it makes sense. Trump himself posted a Pepe meme. You know, he posts memes all the time. It's
he
funny.
gets it, man.
Yeah. And then you look at what the Democrats are doing, and it's like phoned in.
Super cringe, man.
Super cringe.
I don't know, man. Like, did you see and I thought this was fake, man, but did you see the performance? I can't remember the guy's name, man. But the guy... Huh? What's his name?
Billy Porter.
The guy with the dress?
Yep.
Oh, my days, bro.
Oh, dude.
I thought that was a meme. I was like,
did too.
Listen, man, I'm at my cousin's house, and his girlfriend's like, did you see this madness? And I'm like, what? And I'm like, there's no way that's real. That looks like an Adult Swim sketch or something like that,
Yeah.
man. And I'm like, this was on the DNC at the
It was like their closing major performance.
It's like if I'm a Democrat and I'm watching that, I would start questioning, like, what the hell am I supporting? You know,
did you see that meme?
Which one?
It's like it's a picture of it, and actually, let me see if I can pull it
the
up.
one on your Instagram.
Yeah, let me pull up my own Instagram, because it's the last thing I posted, and you're gonna love it. So it's loading, and there we go. All right, check it out.
Oh my God!
Read it.
We're going to lose.
All right. So for those that are listening, it's that guy Billy Porter. He's fist pumping and yelling, and the comment on YouTube says, "We're going to lose, aren't we?"
Oh my God!
It's
was
so
like,
perfect.
I couldn't believe. I was like, this is beyond cringe. And the thing that blew my mind was, I was like, listen, you guys got money, DNC, okay? This looks like someone made this in their garage, man.
That's what Tim
You know what
said.
I mean? And
I
I'm
said it was like a freshman high school talent show.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, no. This can't be for real, bro. This can't be for real. So what that looks like to me is like, you're talking about all this struggle and the things, the black community, the equality. And I'm like, to me, it looks like they're making fun of this. Like, this is a joke. It doesn't look. That's the same thing my cousin said. I'm like, is this a joke? And they're like, no, this is for real. And I'm like, this is what they're really putting in front of people, and they're talking about the struggle of African Americans, and they're the champion for black. This is a joke. It's not even a virtue signal. They're definitely ha-haing in our face with this.
You know, man, it's a recurring theme for me to talk about, but I do believe. I know Republicans have been saying it for a long time, so it's kind of funny. I think I've come to this conclusion in a different path, but I think the Democrats are overt racists.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the whole thing was to just mock and belittle it and like laugh in your face.
And you know, it probably was, because, you know, throughout this entire race, you know, with me saying that, hey, I'm a Republican, I'm running as a Republican, black people don't give me a hard time. Hispanic people don't give me a hard time. The people that give me the hardest time are the white liberals.
Yep.
The guys with the nose piercing and the blue hair to the side, you know. How can you support these people? You don't like black people? You hate your own kind? How could you support the Republicans? You know what I mean? And it's like, these are the people that are constantly coming after me. It's not the people in my own community. They're either faced with one of two things. You know, I don't like the Republican Party. I don't like what they stand for. I like you, and I respect you. Or, why are you a Republican in the first place? Now I'm curious.
Yep.
One of those two things. It's only these super off-the-wall liberals that give me a hard time.
This is what I think is really, really fascinating about, you know, candidates like you, candidates like Kimberly Klacik. And in a sense, this kind of what I don't know. I guess there's like a new Republican, and it's sort of emerging under Trump, You've got people like me, for instance. I've been, independent, left-leaning. I was Democrat. I voted for Obama the first time. I've always felt like when I was growing up, Republicans were bad. You know what I mean? Now the Republicans are very different. And it's like when I see you, I'm like, I look at your platform. I'm like, I think I disagree with like one or two things for the most part. But I'm like, you're a cool dude. You're from the city. Like, we get along. We understand a lot of the same memes. It's like, how is it that you're the new Republican? It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like the whole thing's changing. I do think Democrats are freaking out about it.
Yeah.
Because now when you've got, I don't know if it's true, but I'll tell you, Emerson, Rasmussen, and I can't remember the other polls, Azogby, they show that Trump's got 30% approval, or at least they did earlier this year, 30% approval among black voters.
Yeah.
And I think that freaks them out.
And I think realistically, it's just from the people that I've spoken with, man, I think it might be higher than 30%.
You think
honestly.
so?
I think so.
So you live in a predominantly black area?
Yeah. It's practically all black and Hispanic.
Is it how many people there support Trump?
They don't. That's the thing. They don't like Trump, okay? They like what he's doing. They like what he's doing, all right? Listen, man, you'll be hard-pressed to find somebody and say, oh, he didn't help with the job situation. Not going to happen. You know what I mean? Practically everybody that I met is like, yo, was it easy to find a job? No, it was easier to find a job now than it was under Obama. Still, F Trump. I don't like Trump. The COVID thing happened. Trump gave us the check. This is cool.
Yeah.
He's funding the historically black colleges. He did the prison reform. A lot of my homies are coming home. So I still don't like him, but
they're going to vote for him?
They may, honestly. And if they don't vote for him, they're probably just going to flat out not vote Democrat at all. Because you talk to the average black person, man, they know about Biden. They know about Kamala. And they're just like, this is definitely a virtue signal. They're not. This isn't for us right now.
If Trump came out right now and said, I am going to be reviewing every nonviolent federal drug-related offense.
It's a landslide, 3 million %.
Pardon?
100%. It's
Landslide.
gonna be a landslide, bro. It's gonna be like, what? Landslide, dude. Landslide.
I noticed you got decriminalized marijuana on your platform,
because I'm
too.
like, yo, bro, there's a lot of people that have their lives, my cousins, for example, have their lives completely destroyed for even having a small bag of weed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, I don't care if you smoke weed or not, whether you like weed or not is besides the point. The point that I'm saying is, like, I don't know a single person. I haven't seen a single study of someone who's died from smoking marijuana. I know people that smoke marijuana because they got cataracts, they got, back problems. I have a friend, he's got a fused disc and all kinds of stuff. You have to smoke. Friends that have PTSD from the military that smoke, and it helps them. I've seen them all strung out on Percocets and Xanax and all kinds of stuff, and they're fun people to be around when they smoke weed. They're not losing their mind and tweaking out. So I'm saying, why should someone have their entire lives destroyed because of that? I don't know if these are your fans calling, but people from all across the country keep calling my phone.
Oh, you told them your phone number was on
That's true. That's true. That's probably it.
Yeah.
But I started.
Tell them to text you.
Yeah, text me if you guys want to talk. I'll respond.
I'm a little busy right now.
Yeah, I'll respond to your text messages if that's the case. But I don't see them. I don't see them saying no to something like that. I was like, because for example, Governor Murphy, when he ran, one of the big things he ran on was like, oh, we're gonna legalize marijuana. Bro, I knew so many gangsters, bro, that were like that don't care about politics at all, but they're like, yo, we voting for Murphy. You know what I mean? Murphy's about to legalize it. And I'm like, yo, bro, but he's not the guy. And I'm like, no, he's the guy. It's still
he wasn't the guy.
He's definitely not the guy. He's definitely not the guy.
Dude, Murphy's off. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.